A big part of Sandoval's pitch is that the court isn't diverse enough and that he would bring diversity to the court. Is that a fair argument for him to make, that you should be sort of knocked off your perch to bring more diversity to the court? And if it's not fair in this case, when would it be fair to make that argument?
Well, the first question in looking at a candidate to be judged, whether it's in an election or in the appointed process, is, does the candidate have the qualifications to do the job? Ability, experience, knowledge, all of that. That's what you got to answer. And then in choosing among qualified candidates, the governor has the opportunity to consider a whole lot of other issues. Now, in terms of where our bench is, 50 judges strong, 49 presently, people who I consider to be eminently well qualified. There is a rich diversity. Half of the bench are women. A large percentage of our bench is openly gay or lesbian. We have diversity in just about every other kind of background, experience, you name it. We've government service, private practice. We have had very good ethnic diversity. We do have two extremely well qualified judges who are Hispanic, several other judges who are Hispanic recently retired. I am confident that the governor is going to be looking at those criteria as well as qualifications. But that doesn't establish a right of my opponent to be elected.
He argues specifically that the court also has the opportunity to appoint commissioners, and in appointing commissioners, it's failed to appoint any Latino, Hispanic commissioners. Do you have a role in making, do you have a vote on those appointments, and do you think the court should be doing a better job as far as diversifying its commissioners?
The court as a whole votes when a commissioner is appointed. The process, the personnel process in selecting, is one that I haven't been a part of. What you'd have to look at is the applicant pool, and I can't just describe for you who has applied, but if you look at the commissioners we have right now, we have significant diversity. And very well qualified by both ability and experience. Some commissioners have very long tenures and some have shorter ones, but all of them do their job effectively.
You've mentioned qualifications. Do you feel that Supervisor Sandoval is not qualified to sit on the bench? Let's say it was an open seat. Do you feel he would not be qualified?
I'm content to let the voters decide whether Supervisor Sandoval is qualified or not. I am fully satisfied that I am much better qualified than he is.
Do you feel that any of his criticisms of you are unfair?
Well, I'm not sure I know what they are.
Well, he brings up the lack of diversity and your record, I guess, among some people as having a very brusque manner.
He brings up in particular the San Francisco Examiner survey from the late 90s, which he says that you were rated relatively low among the judges, and he also points to the California Courts and Judges handbook, which includes some anonymous comments from attorneys in your court. Some of the comments are favorable, but quite a few are negative.
Well, the examiner poll was essentially a popularity poll. I understand what the results were. I just don't place very much value in those kind of comments. And I know for a fact that some of the lawyers who did the most trial work, the civil side, weren't even asked what their opinions were. Yeah, you know, anonymous comments are easy to make, impossible to refute. I don't know what else I can say.
One of the criticisms that's come up, I think, that is mentioned in the judge book and has come up at other times, is that lawyers feel that sometimes you will be critical of them or belittle them in front of clients, and that obviously for lawyers that they're very sensitive to that. When do you think it's appropriate to do that, given that it can drive a wedge between the lawyer and their client?
When the lawyers are arguing the case on the record, motion, whatever, I'm going to be fully engaged in that process. I'm going to have read everything they gave me. I'm going to have read some or all of the cases they cited. And I'm going to be prepared to probe with difficult questions the propositions they're advancing and understand the reasons and the authority that they're relying on. Now, sometimes that process of asking hard questions can be difficult for the lawyer. I understand that. Sometimes the process of you asking me hard questions can be difficult for me. But it's an essential part of the process. And if I don't varnish the question as thickly as the lawyer might like, it's not because I intend to embarrass him or her. It's because I intend to get to the nub of the problem as effectively as I can. The other side of that is that I appreciate that give and take. What lawyers typically say when they're responding after I've been pressing them and they think I'm wrong, they'll say, with all due respect. And I say, look, that means absolutely no respect at all. And I'm not asking for your respect at this point. I'm asking for an honest discussion of the point, an honest intellectual exchange, if you will. That's what I'm after. I'm not after Your Honor, if Your Honor please, or with respect, I'd suggest give it to me very straight, and let's get to the bottom of this.